Hello everyone, this is Andrew from Crown Academy of English. Today's lesson is a vocabulary lesson and it's about idioms and expressions about animals. So in this lesson you will learn 8 expressions related to animals. So the first one is chicken, which is a noun. So obviously this is the literal meaning, this is the animal, chicken. But if a person is a chicken, if we call someone a chicken, it means that he or she is not brave. Okay, so it means that the person is not brave. So a chicken is someone who is scared or frightened. Example, Mark says, "Let's jump into the water." Jane says, "No, I don't want to." And Mark replies, "Come on you chicken, come on you chicken." So Mark is calling Jane a chicken because she's scared. She doesn't want to jump into the water. Okay, so Jane is not brave, she's scared. She's a chicken. David says, "Are you going to invite Claire for coffee?" And John replies, "Well, I'm worried that she'll say no." And David says, "Just ask her. Don't be a chicken. Don't be a chicken." Okay, so don't be scared. Don't be a coward. Okay, a coward is someone who is not brave. Okay, so don't be scared. Just ask her. Don't be a chicken. So this is the noun. And we also have an expression, a related expression, using a verb, a phrasal verb, in fact. Okay, to chicken out. So now we're using chicken as a verb. So this means, well, if someone chickens out, it means that it means to not do something because you are too scared. So if someone chickens out of something, it means they don't do it because they are too scared. Example, Mark asks, "Did you go on the cable car?" And Jane replies, "No, I chickened out. I chickened out." So this means Jane is saying, "No, I didn't do it because I was too scared." So we've got ed here. So we're using chicken like a verb, and we have ed, which is the past simple tense. John didn't do the parachute jump. He chickened out. Okay, so John didn't do the parachute jump. He chickened out. He was too scared to do it. Okay? Crocodile tears. Crocodile tears. So this is a crocodile. And tears is, well, when we cry, tears are the water that comes out of our eyes. Okay? So what does this mean? Crocodile tears. Well, they are tears that you cry when you are not really sad or sorry. Okay, so you're crying, but you're not really sad. You're not sad. So crocodile tears, they are a false and insincere display of emotion. So you're not being sincere. It's fake, basically. It's fake emotion. You're pretending to be sad. So here is an example situation. Claire hates her boss. Okay, so she doesn't like her manager. Therefore, she has decided to quit her job. So she's going to quit her job because she hates her boss. So on her last day of work, she cries when she says goodbye to her boss. So she says goodbye and she's crying. Well, we can say that Claire is crying crocodile tears. Claire's tears are crocodile tears because she's not really sad, because we know that Claire, she hates her boss. So there is no reason for her to be crying. Okay, so she's pretending. It's a false display of emotion. She's not really sad or sorry. Okay, so it's fake tears. Okay, crocodile tears. Top dog. So here's a dog, and a top dog. The word top here is an adjective meaning the best dog. The best dog, top dog. So what does this mean? Well, a top dog is a person with a high position of authority or status. So top dog is a person that everybody respects. Everybody admires the top dog. Everybody respects the top dog because they have a high position of authority or status. So here's an example. Mark is the best trader in the company. He's the top dog. So here's Mark. He's a trader. He works at Wall Street trading stocks and shares. And he's the best. He's the best trader. So people consider him to be the top dog. Okay. But then the company recruits a new trader. And the new trader is even better than Mark. So this means that Mark is no longer the top dog. So there is a new top dog. The new trader is the new top dog. Okay. So in a company, for example, we would say that the CEO is the top dog because he or she has the highest position in the company. Or we can say the Prime Minister is the top dog in a country. It's quite informal. This is quite an informal expression. Okay, but it's very, very common. Doggy bag. So doggy, this is another word for dog. The word doggy, it's often a word that children would use. Doggy. Okay, it's another word, as I say, for dog. And bag, well, I'm sure you all know what a bag is. A bag is something that you put things in to carry. So in a restaurant, if you don't finish your food, then they will put it in a doggy bag for you. Okay, so if you have leftovers at the end of your meal and you would like to take the leftovers with you, maybe you want to eat them back at home, then you can ask the restaurant for a doggy bag. So it's a bag in which they put the rest of your food. Okay. This is very common in America, the concept, the culture of asking for a doggy bag. In England or the United Kingdom, it's not very common. If you ask them, they will do it. If you ask them for a doggy bag, they will give you a doggy bag. But a lot of people do not feel comfortable asking for it. Okay, it's not really in our culture to ask for a doggy bag. An example. The customer says, "I'm full. I can't finish my meal." And the waitress asks, "Well, would you like a doggy bag?" So this is the doggy bag here. It's not always a bag. Sometimes it's like here it's a little box. In fact, it's a container. It's a plastic box or container. Very often it's a polystyrene box or container. But we still call it a doggy bag. Even if it is a box, we don't say doggy box. We always say doggy bag. Okay? And the customer says, "Yes, please." Okay? The elephant in the room. So here is the animal. This is an elephant. So what does this mean? The elephant in the room. This is one of my favourite expressions. So the elephant in the room is the problem that nobody wants to discuss. The subject of conversation that everybody is avoiding. So let me give you an example. Mark lent money to David 3 months ago. So this is Mark, and he lent or gave money to David 3 months ago. But unfortunately, David didn't pay Mark back. So David didn't reimburse Mark. Okay? So there's a problem here. There's a problem between David and Mark, a problem with money. We say that David owes Mark money. And they meet by chance at a party. So there's a coincidence. They just bump into each other and they meet by chance at a party. So Mark sees David and says, "Hi David, how are you?" And David replies, "Very well, thanks. How are you?" And Mark says, "Well, I think that we should discuss the elephant in the room. I think that we should discuss the elephant in the room." And David replies, "Ah, yes, the money. Let me explain." So the elephant in the room is the problem that nobody wants to discuss. So it's the problem of money. Because notice here, Mark says, "Hi, how are you?" He doesn't mention the money. And David, when he replies, he doesn't mention the money. But so they are both ignoring the problem. They are both avoiding the problem. But it is obviously something that they must discuss. So Mark says, "I think that we should discuss the elephant in the room." So we call it an elephant in the room because imagine if there really was an elephant in the room. It's a big thing that everyone can see. Everyone sees it, but perhaps if nobody discusses it, it's a bit strange, okay, because it's so big that you can't miss it. So it's the same here. Mark knows that there's a problem with the money, and so he's thinking about the money. David also knows there's a big problem with money, and he knows it. So when they are avoiding the subject, it creates tension in the conversation. So we call it the elephant in the room. Okay? Hold your horses. So here's the animal, a horse. So what does this mean? Hold your horses. Well, we say hold your horses to someone when we are telling them to slow down. Okay, to slow down. We are telling them to wait and to be patient. Example: the teacher is explaining something to a student. Okay, so the teacher is in the classroom. There's a class full of lots of students, but the teacher is speaking to only one student at the front of the class. And then the bell rings to signal the end of the class. And immediately the other students stand up and they start leaving the classroom. And the teacher says, "Hold your horses, everyone. Hold your horses. I have not finished talking. I have not finished talking." So the teacher is telling everyone to slow down, to wait, and to be patient. Okay, so she's saying, wait there, be patient, slow down, I have not finished. Okay, so it's quite a useful expression. Hold your horses. Straight from the horse's mouth. So this is another expression related to horses. Straight from the horse's mouth. This means information that has come directly from the source. Example, Jane says, I heard a rumour that David is going to move to Paris. Mark says, no, that's not true. He's going to stay. And Jane says, well, how do you know? And Mark replies, I heard it straight from the horse's mouth. I heard it straight from the horse's mouth. So this means that David himself told Mark that he's going to stay. Okay, so the direct source of the information is David. And so David told Mark directly that he's going to stay. So there are no rumors, there's no fake news. Mark knows the truth because David told him the truth. So Mark heard the information straight from the horse's mouth, directly from the horse's mouth. Okay, the source of the information. Okay, that's the end of the lesson. If you are preparing for the IELTS exam, then click here for information about our IELTS online course. And here are some other videos which I recommend.